Well, it looks like I made it to 2,000 subscribers. Incredible. And to celebrate that little milestone, I'm throwing a contest. So if you're up to the challenge and you're looking to get some free metal-related stuff, or you just want to see how I respond to these questions, then definitely keep watching. So there are a lot of standard themes that content creators on YouTube choose when doing videos of this sort. I wanted to do something a little bit different, something familiar but also something different, and since I'm the one doing this contest, I decided to pick a theme that's near and dear to my heart. Of course, I'm going to pick my favorite band in the world, that is Kiss, of course, but don't worry, you don't have to show any Kiss records, you don't have to even like Kiss to do this contest, you don't even have to like metal necessarily, though given the prizes, I would think you would like metal. In fact, you probably will have to if you want these things. I also decided to change things up in the way that the questions are handled. I know a lot of people do the show an album or song thing. We're going to do that, but then I also want you to tell me a related story to each category. There are 8 categories total, by the way, and I love stories. I love telling them a lot. I love hearing them quite a bit too, and I think some of yours are going to be fantastic. So definitely, you're going to like this. So the one rule of the contest is that you can't show actual Kiss records, either for albums or songs. I'm going to be showing them to show you the categories, but beyond that, I'm going to be showing you actual albums and then telling related stories. But just want to state that up front. It's kind of obvious as we go along, but you know, you got to say these things sometimes. And as I mentioned before, I will also be answering these questions and giving you related stories from my sordid metal past. The answers should be fun and weird and messed up and maybe racy. If you have small children, maybe take them out of the room. I don't know where this is going to go, so we'll find out. This is also good because if you are wanting to watch this video but you're not wanting to enter the contest, you have some content, you have something to watch. So there you go. So with that, let's get to it. Category 1 will be Hotter Than Hell, and the question related to that is, show me an album cover or a song that depicts fire, flames, or the burning pits of hell. And then the story I want you to tell me is about the hottest place you'd ever been and why you were there. So my record is going to be Hell Awaits, of course. This is Slayer's second album. You probably know about Slayer already. Probably know quite a bit about them, so I probably don't even need to talk about this record very much. But the hottest day I ever remembered, it was the summer of 1988. It was either August or September. I was in Southern California, and I was with a girl at the time. This was my metal girlfriend back in the later 80s. I was staying with her. It was a long-distance relationship kind of thing. And I was visiting, and we decided to go to Long Beach to see the Spruce Goose, which was the Howard Hughes plane. It was kind of a museum attraction kind of a thing. It's somewhere else now, but it was there then. And then we saw the Queen Mary, which is this giant boat. So we went to go see a giant plane and a giant boat. And on the way there, I was looking at the bank clocks as we were passing by on the ride there. It was 129 degrees Fahrenheit. The most amazing heat I'd ever imagined. I've been to a lot of hot places too. I've been to the desert Southwest. I've been to a lot of other places that are usually pretty hot, and I had never experienced heat like that ever. And then we went back to her place and had a little fun, and it was also 129 degrees in the house, and I don't even know how I survived. So there you go. Category 2 is Dressed to Kill, and what I'd like you to do is show me an album cover or a song that depicts extremely fancy dress or no dress at all. And I'd also like you to tell me about an outfit or style of dress you wore as a kid that you wouldn't be caught dead in now. My album for this is Under Lock and Key from Dokken. This is Dokken's third album. They've got the great pop metal outfits from the mid-'80s there, probably something they wouldn't be caught dead in now. One thing I noticed about this record cover years later, I didn't notice it back in 1985, and I don't know why, is that if you turn it sideways, the Dokken logo fits in the cutout space. I don't know why I didn't notice that, but anyways. So my story is the one and only time I bought a pair of spandex pants. I was living in Reno, Nevada at the time. I was 17 years old. And I went into this rock paraphernalia store. I think it was a strip mall. I can't remember really. They had metal gauntlets and spikes and all sorts of cool stuff. No music, interestingly enough, but they had rows and rows of spandex pants, all sorts of colors and styles. And I looked at this one pair. It was tiger's stripes, I believe. And I kind of imagined myself in them for some strange reason. And I'm like, maybe I'd look good in those. I don't know. So I bought them. Kind of embarrassingly. I was kind of two minds to have them in general. So I went home and I tried them on and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, yeah, this is really, really wrong. I mean, there's a reason why they look so great on girls and so bad on dudes. And yeah, and that was the one and only time I put them on. I took them off very quickly, and I really don't know what happened to them afterwards. I think 6 months later, I couldn't have told you what happened. Maybe I threw them out. Maybe I gave them to someone. I have no idea. But yeah, spandex pants. Category 3 is Destroyer. And what I want you to do is show me an album cover or a song that depicts someone or something in the act of destruction. And then tell me about your own tale of destruction, however you choose to define that. I'm going to go with Massacred by Cam Lee. Cam Lee, of course, is the singer for Massacre. You might know him from that band. I got this signed. Actually, I think Dave Ingram got this for me. They're buddies. Obviously, Cam Lee is doing guest vocals on one track on the new Benediction album. So they have that relationship. And he scored this for me. Very cool. I love that it's signed. Total destruction there. My story of destruction is a bit of a story that a lot of rock stars were telling at the time. You know, a lot of them love to trash hotel rooms and do all sorts of awful things in hotel rooms. I'm probably going to tell you about one of each of those. I was at a motel party. The motel doesn't exist anymore. This is in Worcester, Mass. I think they tore it down like 25 years ago. It was a pretty flea bag motel. And I was at a party there, and there was a bunch of people. My band at the time, we were there, and some friends and some other folks. There was also a girl there who would later be a stripper, which makes a lot of sense given the story I'm about to tell you. And so she liked me, she liked my guitar player, and she decided she was going to have sex with both of us. So she took him in the bathroom, they had sex, and then she ended up passing out because she was drinking a lot. And I thought, oh, that's sad. I kind of missed out. Turns out a few weeks later, my buddy got the clap. So all I thought while I was sitting in the lobby of the free clinic waiting for him, as he was screaming horribly from the examination room he was in. I don't know if you know this, but the test is they take this long stick with a swab on it, and they jam it down there, and they twist and pull it out. So all I could think to myself was, wow, I really dodged a bullet there. So a little personal destruction there. But the real destruction was definitely before all of that. We decided to throw the TV set out the window. And we didn't break the window. We actually just chucked it out. I think this was before a lot of motels and hotels started bolting down their TV sets. Maybe because of these types of stories. But I guess it was fun. We chucked it out the window and then it hit the pavement below. And we laughed a lot. And we're like, oh, rock stars. We're so awesome. We're basically stupid kids. But yeah, that's the story. Category 4 is Love Gun. And what I want you to do is show me an album cover or a song that depicts either firearms or large projectile weaponry, such as cannons or catapults. And then tell me your story involving either guns or getting a girl. I'm going to go with guns. And I'm going to show you this lovely Bolt Thrower album. This is Realm of Chaos. This is the original press from Earache Records with the original artwork. Love this album. It's Bolt Thrower. You love them too. You know it. So anyways, my story involves guns, as I said. And I was about 16 years old, and I lived in this neighborhood, and my buddy lived in another neighborhood, and between those two neighborhoods was this really bad section of the city, known as Great Brook Valley. It's in Worcester, Mass, again, and we were at my house, and it was really late, and I was staying over at his house, so maybe about 3 a.m, we had to cut through this bad neighborhood to get from my neighbor to his. And maybe about 2/3 of the way through, we started hearing shotgun blasts, like a number of them, and we ran really, really, really fast, and we got to his house. We were okay, whatever, but on the news the next day, there was a gangland slaying, an actual execution, where they killed, I think, at least 3 or 4 people. Yeah, so we ear witnessed a gang slaying, which is kind of freaky. So there you go. That's my gun story. Category 5 is Unmasked. Everyone's favorite Kiss album, right? Of course. I want you to show me an album cover or a song that depicts the revealing of something or someone, and then tell me one of your favorite Halloween costumes. Tell me all about it. The record I'm going to pick is From the Inside from Alice Cooper, because if you open it up, it shows you this. And not only that, if you open up the back, there's also stuff in there. So there you go. My story about my favorite Halloween costume, I would say one of my favorite Halloween costumes, was back in, Halloween of 1993. I had started my one-man media company, Purging Talon, through which I did zines, and I did podcasts and documentaries and public access television and audio projects and lots of other stuff. And this was the night I was premiering the first issue of my first zine. So I had a premiere party of sorts. I actually had it in two different places. I had it at my place, and then we had it at someone else's place because it was bigger, and we could get more people there for some reason. So we went to this party, the second party, which was a costume party, and we all dressed up. And my costume was what is lovingly known as a Vermont redneck. Vermont has its own breed of that. So I had this great wig. It was a bleach blonde wig, and I shaved the sides. I spiked up the top a little bit. Had a torn up old Zeppelin t-shirt. I think I even wore construction boots to seal the deal. So we went to this party, and it was a different mix of people, lots of different kinds of people, including some very real rednecks. And no one was more convinced at the party that I was legitimate than them. They were talking to me as if I was one of them. And that was kind of interesting and kind of messed up in some ways. My friends kept coming back to me going, "They think you're one of them." And I thought that was great. I even did the Vermont accent. If you've never heard it, it's something along the effects of, "Ya dude, freaking Abenoit." There you go. And yeah, so that was my Halloween costume that went way too far, and everyone bought that was of that ilk. Crazy. Category 6 is Creatures of the Night. My favorite Kiss album, of course. And the question is, show me an album cover or a song that depicts vampires, werewolves, or other mythical beings who lurk in the shadows. And then I want you to tell me about one of your wildest nighttime stories. Well, the album I'm choosing is the latest album from Grand Magus. This is Wolf God. Eagerly awaiting another album from this band. This is an incredible album. They're a Swedish doom metal, but also traditional heavy metal band. Great stuff. Love this album. So my story about my wild nighttime whatever is February of 1990, February 9th, 1990. It's amazing. I remember the exact date. This story starts like probably a lot of 80s teen sexploitation films do. The girl's parents go out for the weekend. She decides to throw a party. The party gets way the hell out of hand. So that's exactly what happened. I was visiting Worcester again from Vermont, and this girl Nikki threw this party. And true to form, the party got really out of control. Way too many people showed up. A lot of people she didn't even know. People were making out with each other all over the place and wrecking stuff. One girl showed up with spray paint and spray painted the walls. We later found out it was the kind of spray paint that's a temporary spray you do in your hair for Halloween. No one knew that at the time. They thought it was real. There was this crazy pit in the family room downstairs. We decided to do a Slayer pit, and I came up with the brilliant idea of, let's see who can jump off the highest point in the room. And my friend Randy won. He managed to climb all the way up a bookcase and jump off the top ledge of the bookcase. I was bolted into the wall so it didn't fall over. That was kind of crazy. Lots of other things happened too. The cops showed up 3 times. The first of which they showed up, they were banging on a door. I was in the room with a girl. I literally had to jump out a window, grabbing my clothes, and got away. And then at the end of the night, I met a girl who ended up being a girlfriend of mine for a number of months. So kind of interesting. Lots of other things happen. When the cops showed up the second time, my guitar player buddy and I were talking to the cops, and our other buddy of ours was like walking behind the cop to his car. He had stolen a bunch of weird stuff, like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles phone, and I think a pillow was involved. And we're just like, what are you doing? And tons of other stuff happened. Crazy, crazy party. So there it is. Category 7 is Asylum, and what I'd like you to do is show me an album cover or a song that depicts insanity, committal to a mental facility, or on the path to losing your mind. And then I would like you to tell me about one of the craziest dudes you ever met. For albums, I'm going to pick Tony McAlpine. This is Edge of Insanity. Tony McAlpine was an 80s guitar virtuoso. He was one of a number of guitar players on the Shrapnel Records label, which is pretty much a stable for these guys. They also had Paul Gilbert and Jason Becker and Marty Friedman. Lots of other folks as well. If you're into guitar noodling, you should check in the Shrapnel Records. They had actual bands too, but mostly these guitar guys. Good little album. Interesting stuff. So, my story of the craziest dude, probably the craziest dude I ever met, was this guy known as Mars, as in the candy bar, the planet, and the god. And Mars was really mentally ill. And I think at the time, in my early 20s, I and a lot of other people on campus, this was at college, by the way, thought he was really funny, you know, oh, he's so crazy. But, you know, the guy needed some mental help, clearly. So one of the things he liked to do a lot was walk around the quad naked. And, you know, everyone laughed about that. But the one moment I remember vividly was at the time I was in college radio. In fact, I was doing a show at the moment on air. And Mars comes in. He's kind of dressed, which was strange. And he comes in and he's like, I got to get on the mic. You don't understand. I've got this great idea. And he just looked crazed. And I'm like, dude, take the mic. I got to hear this story because you know it's going to be good. So I gave him the rest of my show. He gets on the mic and he starts talking about how he had acquired this plot of land in the middle of the woods and he had built this weird ramshackled shack out of sheet metal and other things. I imagined a sort of Jason Voorhees shack kind of a thing. And the thing he wanted to do was to get people to move in with him. And I guess his family might have come from money. I think he had a little bit of a trust fund. And he was going to buy all the beer for days on end and the food. And they were going to do a communal thing. And they were going to live in the woods and maybe live off some of the land as well. And he just went into more and more detail about it, about getting away from this culture and all that stuff. And it was funny because some of it made sense and some of it was really out of left field. Most of it out of left field. And it was great. I don't know what happened to Mars. I think some months later, he just sort of disappeared. I'm willing to bet that someone came and took him away. So, Mars. Totally nuts. And category 8 is revenge, a dish best served cold. And what I want you to do is show me an album cover or a song that depicts any sort of payback, vendetta, or just desserts. And then tell me about a time when you got some sweet revenge or someone got revenge on you. The album I'm going to show you is Flotsam and Jetsam's Doomsday for the Deceiver. This is their debut album from 1986. Clearly there's a little bit of payback going on this cover. The story I'm going to tell you is a tale of the day I stood up to bullies. I was 11 years old. I moved around a lot. I told that story quite a bit. I moved around a lot. I was kind of small for my age. I was kind of a target. And there was a group of kids in this one school I was at when I was in 6th grade. This is in Winnemucca, Nevada, which is basically what it sounds like. And there was one kid in particular, and every time they would walk by me at a given time every day in the hallways, he just punched me really hard in the arm. And that got old over time. And so there was this one day I was coming up the stairs and he was passing me heading towards the stairs. You kind of see where this is going maybe. And punched me square in the arm. He was alone this time. So I basically just went black. And I don't mean African American, like I just went dark. And I thought to myself, I don't know if I said it aloud or just thought it, but I just remember the words, no more. And I turned around and I slap-shoved the kid down a flight of 35 concrete stairs. And the bottom of the stairs, the landing took a sharp right. He did not take a sharp right. He hit the wall in front of him. And I remember he broke his arm, he busted his nose, knocked a couple teeth out, bloody mess. So class was getting out at this time. So I was at the top of the stairs. Kids just started gathering around me, behind me. And I just laughed. It was this nervous, skinny kid laugh. I think it was just the rush of power and revenge and just that really good feeling that you stood up for yourself. And the one thing I really remember that was really cool, and I think it's one of those things that you won't see now in these PC times, is that as the crowd cleared, I think it was an administrator or a counselor, but he kind of looked at me and he gave me that look, the sort of Robert Redford Mountain Man meme look, if you know it. He's like, and then he kind of walked away as if he saw nothing. And I dug that moment. That was a moment. The whole moment was a great thing in general, but that one part of it was pretty amazing. And from then on, I basically fought everyone and, got my butt kicked a lot. Sometimes I didn't, but learned how to fight the hard way. but more importantly, I learned up to stand up for myself, and that was super important, and that's really a milestone in my childhood, something I always remember, and remember fondly. So, there it is. And that's all there is to it. If you're doing a video, definitely think out your answers a bit, allot some time for this. My answers probably weren't exactly quick, so yeah, definitely think these through. I think you'll really get something out of it. I think it's going to be a good time for you. So now comes the contest part. I've got 3 tiers of packages. That means there'll be 3 winners. So here's what you're going to get. So the first tier in this contest includes a sticker pack. A nice nuclear blast sticker for you there. Also a sticker of Decay Army. Daniel Decay, of course, Banger TV, but he's also the current guitar player for Exciter. There's that. Spin Me Round Records. They're a record store. They also do a really cool YouTube channel. You should check it out. Hellcast is a podcast. It's done by the Reaper Metal folks. They also have a YouTube channel. You should check that out. Of course, we have Combat Records, Body Count, Century Media, Heavy Metal Magazine, and of course, Napalm Death. Yes. Also, an Acid Witch patch. If you like Acid Witch, you'll love this patch. And also a flag. This is for the band Exhumed. Looks like that. And also a magnificent, there it is, Cannibal Corpse parody apron, in case you're in the mood to barbecue. It says eating back to life on the top. So that is tier 1. Tier 2 in this contest has 3 items, the first of which is the 11th studio album from Incantation. This is Sect of Vile Divinities. Comes on a lovely red cassette, and you get that. Also the Helyamar and Elder CD single, split single. Let's put it the right way. Black metal solo artists, basically. There's that. And then also in the prize package is this wonderful back on black messenger bag with strap and everything. Looks like it's nylon or canvas. This is the perfect thing to carry around anything you want to carry around. So there is tier 2. And of course, tier 3 is going to be vinyl. It's going to be 6 records total, and I do need my notes for this. The first record is Sanity Control. This is War on Life. This is the only album thus far from this Polish thrash band. Second record is Excel with The Joke's on You. This is a reissue for this American crossover thrash band. This is their second album. Third record is Skeleton. This is their self-titled album. Only full-length album from this American Black Death thrash band. Next up is Mongrel's Cross with Salter of the Royal Dragon Court. This is the second album from this Australian black thrash band. Next up is Midnight Hellion with Condemned to Hell. This is the only full-length album from this American traditional metal band. They also have some slight punk influence, if you're interested in that. And lastly, this is Terminal Nation with Holocene Extinction. This is the only full-length album for this American death and hardcore band. So that's tier 3. So as for entering the contest, all you have to do is make a video, answer the questions as specified, and then take the URL and post it in the comments section of this video. And one important thing I need you to do, if I don't know you very well, which is probably most of you, is I need you to put your email address in the About section of your YouTube channel so I can verify that you are indeed you, so I can get you the packages. So yeah, and I also need to get your shipping address, obviously. So there's that. So the contest ends on February 25th, 2021, with the drawing a week later, probably March 4th. So definitely do your videos, get them in as soon as you can. And if you're getting this after March 4th, sorry, contest is over. I should also mention that many of these prizes are supplied by the Metalhead Box. Of course, you should go to themetalheadbox.com, check out this monthly subscription box service made for metal fans, by metal fans. Definitely check their site out. And while I have you here, definitely remember to give this video a like, also share it with your friends, and definitely subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. This is the Accusation Network. I do metal vinyl collecting videos once or twice a week. Check out the playlist, check out the videos, and yeah, also use the comment section. Let me know what you think about some of these videos. Pretty cool. And if you're already a subscriber and you want to support my channel in a more involved capacity, you should definitely check out my Patreon page. It's at patreon.com/The Accusation Network. You can check out the reward tiers and see how you can contribute. I have extra content there. I also show videos up to 7 days earlier than I do here at the YouTube channel, so definitely check into it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.